All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another wonderful day of Smite here at Valhalla. I am your caster today, Freaky G, and sitting next to me, theoretically, is a fellow player and friend, Scopy. Scopy, how you doing today?
I'm I'm here. I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm happy to be with the man, the myth, the legend, Freaky himself.
Oh, you say
So
too much. You say you make me. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm glad to be here with a fresh face over on the casting side of things. But as far as the game goes, we're not going to pass these flatteries around too long. We've got Nightly Koalas, Rat Division versus Ice Age, and frankly, to put it realistically, I really don't know a lot about Rat players, and that's going to be
me
hard on
either.
me. So what we're
It's
going to
okay.
do is go look at stats and rosters
Yes.
and find out
I
more
got
about these guys.
I don't have stats. Hold on. Hold on. I got this. So say I knew we were 3-3. I didn't know about the koalas.
Just so you know
So
that they can't hear him. They can't hear him. So yeah, so currently right now it's a three-way tie between Ice Age Rat Division, Nightly Koalas, and Banana Clan. 3-3, 3-3. All three have an even across the board record, and then of course up there sitting at the top is Olympians, who are 6-0 right now. Go Olympians! Are doing great. I'm not biased, just cheering on everyone in this league. But anyways, so yeah, this is going to be a very interesting game to watch because this decides who is second and who is third. We're finally going to get that split. That's going to come down to who's going to take the actual top three and who's the better of the top of the bottom part of the top three teams, I should say. So this is a very important game for both of these teams. So I imagine they're going to be bringing their all.
I would imagine so. So I know that one of the koala players had to sub in our game at 2 today, so he should be primed and ready to play today. He actually, I guess he's their mid in Rat, and he ended up playing jungle today in our set, which is
Oh,
silent.
yeah,
So
Silent Kill. No, there's a guy
yeah,
that I could talk about all day. Love that dude. Very strong player, very good mid laner. He can flex a little bit in those jungle roles, but yeah, I think this guy solid player, probably one of the top rat players in my opinion, especially in slot, in role. Very good. A very good guy, very good player. He was on my rat team last season. I don't have a rat team anymore, but at one point he was on my rat team. Uh, so looking at the rosters here, Nightly Koalas, we have Call Me Squatch in solo. And this is just based off of what I have in front of me. Muchimono in jungle. Silent Kill in mid. ZaBaba-Yaga in support, and then old Zap himself, Zap Quill, DAL. Now I'm not sure if this has changed since then. Also, but rosters are supposed to be up to date, so that's what we have right
they
there in
are
front of us
indeed.
for Nightly Koalas. So what do you think about this Nightly Koalas team? I mean, Call Me Squatch has looked
Um,
really strong in solo. ZaBaba-Yaga, a solid support player, and Zap I've heard has been making waves in the Rat division.
You've literally actually said everything I was about to say. Ironically, I've heard a lot about Zap. I've heard a lot about Baba too. That's a name that I recognize a lot. Same thing with Squatch. I mean, I've heard really good things about him. I think I filled um like way back in scouting games in a rat game for them and a rat scouting game, and he was in there and he surprised me a lot. I think the only player I don't really know on this team is the jungler. But Silent played really well earlier today, and I expect pretty big things out of him at a mid. So
Nice, that's good to hear. And I mean, like you said, Muchimono, not really a lot to go off of with him. I think he's actually new this season as well. So, that's certainly not helping our case. Okay, so I just got informed that Zap is no longer in the server, so he is not going to be playing ADC. So that means Yeah, that's what I've been told, but you're not supposed to
Well,
be
so if
talking.
that's the case, looking at this, I really hope it's Phoneinacup, just because I want to say Phoneinacup as much as physically possible. If I'm
So
being honest, so
this information from the team itself, I guess they're listening to the Discord, or listening not the Discord, listening to this cast. Um, Squatch told me I'm not support, and I didn't say for support, and Zap isn't in the VL server roster or Silent Jungle. Silent is jungle this game, so Silent will be playing jungle as he did in that Loki game you were talking about.
I would almost imagine that Baba's going to be playing mid because I'm pretty sure I've seen them play mid before. Would be my.
Okay, he said he's not playing solo, so Call Me Squatch is not playing solo in this game.
He's not. All right, cool.
So we're just gonna go straight into game.
We're just gonna go straight into game, I guess. Well, all right, let's do it.
A
I'm
great start to
about
the
it.
cast. We're having a great
Yes.
time.
Okay, so it is Baba's support. I got phone in the cup. Let's go. I got
All
phone
right.
in the cup.
I
I'm
love the
happy.
excitement so far. So far looks like from the picks we've got here, they've the blue team looks like that's gonna be our boys I know the name Nightly Koalas. So that's gonna
Yep.
be KhrisThaDemon and ADC Phoneinacup playing solo, and ZaBaba-Yaga support on the Ares. Vidanielrisco, another guy I know quite a bit about. He was on my Rats team last season as well, playing the Poseidon in the mid. And then Silent Kill on the Ao Kwang. Followed that Ice Age, which we didn't get to talk about sadly, but we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Jacobfrostsoap playing solo on the Chalk. Dark Paladin 143 on the Fenrir in the jungle. Alchemines 47 going to be playing mid for that team on Scylla. Talonreese on good old Yamoja in support, and then PeGaSui. I'm gonna say it like that. PeGaSui.
You had it right the first time. It's
On her.
PeGaSui. Yeah, you had it right the first time. It's PeGaSui.
Then we have our bands finally put up for us by our lovely
Interesting.
spectator. Thank you, Mr. Captain. For everyone who didn't know,
So
that's who's spectating.
they banned Gilga, Set,
Hello there.
Scotty. Interesting. These are very interesting bands. I don't know why we were
I find them
banning
to be very
Cthulhu.
good bands.
Yeah,
Targeted. Targeted. I
I
mean,
was gonna say like the only two that stand out to me are the Cthulhu and the Scotty, and then that's just maybe
well,
targeting.
you also got to account for the fact that this is the rap meta. We got to account for their meta. Their metas
Yeah,
are going to be very
that's fair.
different. But all right, I mean, right off the bat, look at that. Talonreese already doing the minion wall push thing and then
Yep.
hogging the camp. So here plays right off the bat.
She did buy the wrong thing. She bought Watcher's Gift instead
They
of
both did.
Benevolence. Yes, that is.
Oh no, okay. So she got tides to stop the wave
Yeah,
and
yeah.
keep it closer to tower, so that way they could clear first, and that
Yep.
gives them the advantage at the beginning. Very smart, very intelligent play. So whoever's
Agreed.
helping them out and coaching them did a very good job.
Be the man, the myth, the mom himself, good old Malmuth. I know he does a
Monmouth.
lot of I know he does a lot of working with the rat team.
Very
Like
good.
a lot. So
Good guy too. Not surprised
yeah,
if he's putting
that's
his input in.
debatable. That's
Now we
debatable.
can't be like that. But here we go with the chains over here. ZaBaba-Yaga looking like looking like he should be the ADC right now. He didn't miss any of those chains. It
He
looked
did
like.
not miss a one. And I like the two support picks here. Because I feel like if Yamoja's played correctly, she can control the lane a lot. And Ares, if Ares is played correctly, he's just pressure, like instant pressure. And I
So
really
it-
like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really like that with the soul. It's a lot of early pressure, as we can see.
Well, here we
They
go. We
are-
see a lot of damage being
That's
done
for
to
s-
Talonreese. Yeah, and it's Yamoja that's just taking all of this poke. Here you were singing the praises. Meanwhile, in the solo lane, Phoneinacup struggling to keep his health bar high. He is going to be able to stay alive both sides of the map. But Fenrir also making a rotation into the jungle on the left side of the map. And now it's Dark Paladin that's in trouble after trying to make
he's
that
very
gank work.
low. Yeah,
PeGaSui
up,
actually
down.
goes for the up down. Wow.
she's gonna die to that Ares if she's not careful. And then Soul's coming back for the re-engage as well. That's a lot of really low health bars with nothing to come out of it, which is very surprising with
Very.
the Ares there.
Yeah, I mean, very, very interesting gank. I mean, we didn't get to see the initiation off of it. There must have been a misplay or something on the side of Ice Age there that just kind of made that gank not go their way, especially with them being so close to tower line and Fenrir being great in the early game. I can only imagine that maybe there was a missed ability there. Maybe he missed the jump. Maybe he missed the brutalize because almost dying in that situation just doesn't seem right. Or maybe there was just another really good chain from ZaBaba.
Say, yeah, I mean, Ares can hard counter everything Fenrir wants to do early with his chains as long as he's on point with them. And Baba's hit every chain I've seen so far. So
Can we get a chain counter, please?
I'd like to see the builds too, because I know Jacob went for the fighter's mask and Phoneinacup went bluestone. So both junglers went eye, which is good. Okay.
I'd say pretty standard builds. I think
Yeah.
you can kind of interchange, and of course, right now maybe not, but here we see the jungler over in do a solo lane right now. Doesn't look like he's really looking to get aggressive, just coming over here to take the farm while his shock.
Yeah, he can't
Farms
he
the
can't
jungle.
really do much until he hits level 5 on that Odin. He jumps in on almost no mana, which is interesting.
All right. The Phoneinacup's actually going to be the one that gets aggressive.
He should be
Ultimate's
dead
going to
here.
land. Is he going to be able
That's
to
a
stay
good
alive?
ult.
He
That's
takes the
first
ultimate.
blood. He's gonna die to tower though. That's actually really good by Jacob
gonna
for
be a
getting
trade.
first blood. Yeah, but he died to the tower, so they didn't really get much for that. I mean, he got an assist, but that's about it. So that was a pretty good play by Jacob there.
Very good. Yeah, and I mean, first blood for shock is always going to be great. You want to get that lead as soon as possible because once you start getting to that late game, your lead just kind of starts to tank, and he's very much his abilities scale, but he doesn't really benefit from item scaling like I would think Odin does.
Yeah, Chalk is very
Oh, the double
snowball-y.
jump, and here comes the Fenrir ultimate, but he's going to use the 3 to stay alive, but I think he canceled early, knowing he wasn't going to be able to make it out alive. Death goes the way of the
That's a
dual
double
lane.
kill for PeGaSui as well. That was a really good transition by Dark Paladin there to understand that they were going to be able to clean up the soul, and he started brutalizing the Ares to start DPSing him, which allowed Pega to get a double kill.
I think my favorite thing about that entire engagement was that PeGaSui and Dark Paladin both jumped in at the exact same time. Knock up, stunned. Can you imagine the disorientation that poor, KhrisThaDemon was going through at that moment?
That was about all, and he burned his beads too, and that was about all he could do. It was just unfortunate that he fell
Burn
there.
the beads, use the disapparate. I mean, but here we are. We're going to see a rotation from the jungle on the side of Koalas this time, and the ultimate's going to come out from Soap, and that's going to stop all aggression on the side of Ice Age. I mean, of Koalas, excuse me.
That was a really good ult by Jacob there.
Look at the
I would have liked to. I would have liked to see.
the whiff.
Oh,
He whiffed both.
that was that Poseidon passive coming in hot, and the Kraken. He hit the Kraken.
Beads comes out from Alchemines. He's going to ult and return and actually get the kill on Vidanielrisco. Now he's going to try and use the ultimate to get away from Silent.
He might live here.
He's not just going to live, he's going to help and get the assist.
By
And
the
Dark
Scylla.
Paladin. And now ZaBaba-Yaga's going to get picked up.
Yeah.
Nothing going to happen though.
No, there shouldn't be much more from this. The Scylla's very low. She dashed in though.
Spicy. And Alchemines gets a triple in 6.5 minutes.
All right. It was a double.
Was it a double? Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
was still.
He did 90% of the damage there. I mean, Scylla or not, he got the kill. Okay.
That was a crazy alt turnaround by that Scylla there to start that off.
Yeah, no. I don't think Paladin is gonna slow down. He's already over here in the left lane looking for pressure now.
He shouldn't. He's a Fenrir. Fenrir is super. What a soul alt though. Good jump. A good ult.
He's on a world tour right now. Look at this guy.
Yeah, I mean that's what you need out of the Fenrir early though. He has way much more early pressure, and as I say that, they're gonna kill Jacob. Yep.
Look at all of these kills. Finally, the first kill on the board though for Nightly Koalas.
Which is a good thing to get it on your AO too, because what I was just about to say before I was rudely interrupted by the gank, AO is not as early as Fenrir, and he now has a level lead on the Fenrir, which is very important because AO is definitely way more better in late game than Fenrir. Fenrir is just an all bot, and that's about it. So
He must have been farming his brains out for him to be a level up because he's 1-1 compared to Fenrir's 1-0-4. His kill participation is at about, oh, I don't know, 60-70% right now, 5 out of 7 kills. And yet, Silent Kill, a level up, maybe half a level on the Ao Kuang, only 1-1. He is farming like a madman at this
yeah,
moment
he
to be
just
to have a
invaded their
lead.
red too, which he has a ward. I really like the fact that he's warding too, because he saw that Fenrir is just kind of roaming, which
Mhm.
Fenrir should do early, but he put an effort to ward the red and get the red timer, and we see
Oh, here
two
comes the
ults
ultimate.
burn. It was a good beads, but he ended up falling. That's a good Ares ult. He pulled two.
Unfortunately, there's not going
And
to be any follow up off of that.
no.
3 ultimates were burned for that kill onto Vidanielrisco, though, so there is a chance that they could actually fight into this. And I think that's exactly what KhrisThaDemon's going to do. The ultimate comes out, the
This is
jump's going
a
to save him,
huge
and
soul
now
ult.
PeGaSui going to come in with the on her ult. Desert
I
Fury,
I like to see
not
the
a good
prioritizing
strategy.
of the gold scorp early. I wish I
Mm-hmm.
could get my Loki team to do that. That would be phenomenal.
This this uh this is looking very good for Ice Age right now. I mean, they're just playing very well and grouping
Yeah.
up properly around the map. And look at this, they're going for farm together. They're sharing their camps, and not to mention Alchemy's just getting that huge early double kill with that assist tag to it that just puts him ahead 2-0-2 on the mid lane right now with a full. I think I'd have to say a full level lead.
I
Uh,
believe it's a full level lead.
yeah.
So which all shout outs to the Scylla on that play too, because like he does have a full level because he just ticked over to 11 and Poseidon is still at level 9. But yeah, he turned around on that Poseidon and free hit his ult, which set him up to be about a whole level ahead. So
Looks like we missed something in the mid lane here, but it did end up being a kill onto Dark Paladin, finally slowing him down 2-1-5. That's his first death of the game. Going to ZaBaba-Yaga as well. And something I want to ask you about, how do you feel about supports getting killed, especially this early on in the game?
um I think it's
Oh,
I wow, 2v1ing. She's gonna fall, but she's doing a lot of damage to that AO, and it's a good thing from Silent there to pick up that return kill, as it looks like Phoneinacup is gonna unfortunately fall. I don't know why he's holding his ult. If he just ults, he's out. All
looks like
right,
he's
call me wrong.
he's confident. He's confident there that he's going to survive, and I don't blame him for being confident. He's got a full mystical mail already. I don't like the fact that he's going this early in the Magic defense, but I don't blame him. Maybe he's worried about Scylla making rotations.
So
But either way,
I I, I like the Pesty just because. Oh, and there's a blink ult, and Scylla dashed and used her ult because she doesn't have
oh
a bead.
no.
Ooh, you don't like to see it.
Well, at least it's a low cooldown.
It is a low cooldown, and Phone in the Cup eventually does fall. I like to see the early Pesty, which I'm assuming he's going to be building. He went Talisman, never
Is this
mind
it?
my entire statement. Uh, to answer your previous question, I think it's very dependent on the Guardian that they're playing or the support that they're playing in that sense.
Mm, mm.
And personally, as long as the person dies and you get the stuff after the stuff, I don't really think at the end of the day it really matters who's getting the kill.
Well, I
So,
suppose, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Smite's very
like
generous with the way it spreads around, spreads the love when it comes to assists, kills, and stuff like that.
well, and when you think about it, like if Ares gets first blood, right now your Ares
Yeah.
it's down, his ult's down, yeah. With an Ares, you want to get ahead, right? So like
Mm.
early kills get you ahead. So I like the contest on the oracles, and they do split. That's good. Trying to keep vision on Gold Fury.
Gotta love
With the
that Odibo those Odibo procs helps you secure camps like that. That's
uh,
crazy.
I did not realize that Pega is a full item ahead of this soul, and
Hmm.
she does have a level lead. I would really like to see the AO pay attention to Pega a little bit more because she's getting ahead, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah,
On hers from ahead feel horrible, and on hers from behind feel horrible. So
just for a different person. Phoneinacup, though, starting to put some aggression on the right side of the map finally after getting that Talisman of Energy built. Very
I would
early
have,
Talisman as well.
and I would have liked to seen a Pesty. I'm not quite sure what that pathing was by the Emoja. I think AO knows that the blue buff is spawning. No, he does not.
Oh no. Chris
Oh,
gets the kill though, but on her gonna come through with the Desert Fury.
that's very unfortunate. And the T1 tower did fall already, which is not really necessarily a bad thing because if Pega starts rotating, then the soul gets free farm. But if Pega stays and tries to keep the
Oh,
lane pushed,
but speaking of
ooh,
Pega, here he is. He doesn't have the impale. The ultimate's gonna come through, and the beads get burned by PeGaSui, and that's a call out from ZaBaba-Yaga for the ultimate. Silent kill did end up picking up PeGaSui, and that's
he
a
should
huge
be able to
pickup for
get through
him.
here.
Is
Yeah,
he gonna be able
good
to clean up
slow, and
Alpha
there's
Means?
the
He
ult.
is, and there's
Yeah,
the ultimate.
that was a
Into
really
the
good
air.
ult. That was a really good ult by that Ares to set that up too, because he burned her beads right there, which means AO just gets a free kill.
And this is exactly what you're talking about earlier with this AO trying to get a lead, which he's maintained so far. Silent Kill looking very strong in the jungle right now. Finishes up that ring there, that Telekind's ring. Meanwhile, in the solo side, Phoneinacup is actually stealing away some of Dark Paladin's farm. He's going to get jumped on, the support's on him, the
It's a
ultimate's going to
good
come out, but it
emoji ult.
didn't close the gap. They're going to get
Oh,
dragged
what
back
a
in.
Ragnarok! I mean, that's a lot to burn on an Odin, though, and he's very tanky. Yeah, and now he's just out. He missed the.
Is he,
Fenrir
though?
has Sunder.
That is a strange pickup on the jungle, but Phoneinacup is going to have that stun available.
Paladins is gonna die.
Paladin
Yeah.
just takes too much damage diving that tower. Now, though, it's the Gold Fury that's being pulled. ZaBaba-Yaga taking a ton of damage in the process. It does go the way of Nightly Koalas, but not without losing ZaBaba-Yaga as well. Silent Kill hanging around in the jungle, trying to see if there's a fight that he can take. Blinks past Shock, goes straight towards PeGaSui. PeGaSui knows he's in danger. KhrisThaDemon gets impaled into the wall, but the ultimate's going to come through from Vidanielrisco to save his carry. And now Silent Kill only has to contend with Jacobfrostsoap, who's going to teleport away, and that's going to be the end of that fight. Not without Phoneinacup showing up to make sure it stays dead the way it started.
I just want to point out that AO plinked the chalk ult, and I'm very happy to see that. That was a very nuts team fight. I was gonna say, I don't really know why Ice Age went in there. Like they still had almost a K gold lead after they took the gold because the Koalas took gold, but they got 2 picks out of it, and they were ahead still. There was no need for them to fight there. Like they got Baba, why don't you just leave? The Ares is dead, you're good, and they just overcommitted. And Koalas definitely made him pay for it, which they now have about a K gold lead for it, which you like to see.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, slightly less than 1,000, slightly more, it varies as it goes. But that XP difference is what really shines to me. As after the major team fight that Silent Kill, I'd have to say, played a big part in, and then that Gold Fury fight that turned into their favor because they overextended. I mean, these guys have a massive lead in XP. Gold, not so much, but I mean, when you're dealing with early game gods like
Yeah, the one
Poseidon and
thing.
Ares, it's great to see that you're maintaining a level lead. Ultimate's going to come out from ZaBaba-Yaga, but he's inside another ultimate. Poseidon's going to drop the ultimate himself, and not really anything going to hit after that. Silent Kill is just stuck to Alchemine. He is going to have to finally drop it, though. Tower does come around. Dark Paladin's in trouble, and KhrisThaDemon is going to hit the ult. And that's going to be the death of the jungler once again. And he has not been able to find anything after the 10-minute mark. It looks like he's just struggling. And I think I see the problem here. Look at his build. An early Heartseeker has definitely put him behind in the jungle.
I think
That's a hard thing to see.
we like to see the 4-man rotation.
Ooh.
Jacob's gonna kill Poseidon, but he's definitely gonna die for this. He should die for this. That's a good Odin ult to stop the healing. That's a good slow though.
Oh,
That's
Alchemines.
Phantom Pop.
Oh,
Phoneinacup
huge.
does pick up Jacob. That looks like a clean 2-for-1, and we are out. We are not out.
No, we're not out. And it looks like ZaBaba-Yaga is
Oh,
going to be the
Pega's
target
over
here.
here.
PeGaSui is throwing these autos after missing the impale. Here comes the
What
Desert Fury. And PeGaSui picks up Phoneinacup with an auto after the jump. ZaBaba-Yaga realizes he's in a lot of danger and knows that this is not where he wants to be.
stun?
Walks right into the stun, though. On her, misses the jump, but the impale lands, but it doesn't take him into a wall.
Slow.
The slow is going to keep him there, and he is going to burn beads for the slow to stay alive. And I don't blame him for it one bit.
Interesting. I would like to point out that there is a 2-level deficit in the jungle, which is very scary for the Ice Age side because, like I said, AO is super late game, and he is very close to being there, which is terrifying.
Excuse me. As we get a nice zoom in of the minion waves beating the ever-living crap out of each other. Thank you, Captain.
We love smite minions.
We can't miss this. This is important because this is XP that's
This is
being missed. There it is. My Daniel shut up.
It was important gameplay ruined by a Poseidon.
Vidaniel, what are you doing, man? Anyway, y'all don't get to hear these jokes, but anyways,
I
the
mean,
tower
we're
is being
securing
destroyed now.
we're securing red buff, which is very important for the blue team because Poseidon with red buff is just PogChamp. Let's be honest here. Oh, Ega is gonna die. That's a good Aegis, but yep, she's
It's
just
that point
dead.
in the game.
It
It's that
is.
point in the game where, unfortunately, on her's damage just isn't going to be enough anymore. Ken's even in the build. It's just not going to work out. And Sol has hit that late game point. She's got 3 rings. That's right. Count them. 3. And she's also got 2 phones. Don't sue me. But yeah, she's just she's just at that point now. We're trying to 1v1 her. Seems like a tall task. And I think PeGaSui felt that.
There are at least 2 people rotating for this. She spotted Chris spot him on the ward. That's a good
Oh
disapparate.
no.
Here
And
comes
that's
Paladin
heartbreaking
though.
for Talonreese. But
Paladin's
he's gonna turn his
ulted.
attention towards
He's-
Silent Kill, and there's the Brutalize right after. Silent Kill actually
He
he's
jumps
actually in
away.
a lot of trouble, but the ultimate's gonna be able to come through for Silent Kill, and he's gonna land it perfectly. Now Talonreese is in trouble, and I'm guarantee you this is
He better duck
exactly
back down.
where he's gonna land.
Yep.
He's gonna have to keep running. There's no tier 2 to come running to. KhrisThaDemon took care of that one already. Here comes PeGaSui back from respawn. This must have been a really long fight because he's up pretty quick for being a level 18. But it's gonna be stopped right there. Silent Kill knows that going any further could probably end up killing him. And the Gold Fury is the call. Not just any Gold Fury, it's a Primal Fury. And it's gonna go the way of Nightly Koalas for free.
That was just a good understanding that they picked the Fenrir. They pushed out the support. The only thing they had was Celestial, but she's not really safe. And with Fire Giant up at 20 minutes, why are you trying to steal a Gold Fury? So, yeah, I like this call. I'd like them to just hard rush Pyro. They have a lead. Their AO is level 18. The only person higher than him is Pega, and Pega's starting to fall off. As we saw, she lost the boxing trade up a level on the Soul because Soul's now late game. The Scylla ult, she did not steal it. That was
Good
a
Poseidon confirm.
good Poseidon confirm.
That's what I like to see. Not being afraid to just toss these ultimates around and just using them for the secure, especially when you know you're probably going to be resetting after this call. But here's what's interesting now is that Ice Age are actually conjoining around the Fire Giant at the moment. All the members are actually on this side of the jungle, and even though that's gone down, they're still not afraid to hover around the objectives and look for kills. Not only just look for any kill, they're going to look at the Odin right now, who's pushed up onto the right lane. Brutalize lands onto the Odin.
Good
He tries
ult.
to walk out, but the cage actually isn't going to be able to save him at the moment. He's going to
Good
jump
jump.
away, and there goes the ultimate.
What
There
a
goes the jump.
Scylla root.
Very good use of abilities, very good mechanics being displayed by the mid laner Alchemines there. And in goes Jacobfrostsoap, who's trying to find the soul here, but the Disapparate's going to come through, and that's going to make Dark Paladin drop the fight, or drop the kill entirely. Good call from him, but now what's important here is the mid lane is being pushed on. The tier 1 is under threat, but it's not the tier 1 they're looking for, it's the kills as they make this rotation. They are going to rotate into the left jungle, and it's all up to if they try to actually chase these down, which I find interesting because they could be doing Fire Giant right now, but they're not. Silent Kill is going to make Dark Paladin jump away after the 1v1 and knows he's not going to be able to win that. Here comes the ultimate, though, from Talonreese. A good whirlpool from Vidaniel is going to stop all aggression, and both teams return to neutral. Where I think they are is PeGaSui eats an entire supernova from KhrisThaDemon. He's going to use the Saporate to start running away. The ultimate's just a little too early, Jacob. Oh no! And he's going to be able to get away. ZaBaba-Yaga is going to use the ultimate as well. Fenrir's going to pick him up and drag him back. Everyone's turned their attention to the Ares, but he's so tanking. The ultimate's just to tap it off from Vidanielrisco. And that was a bad Riptide from the support of Ice Age. Good Aegis from Vidanielrisco is going to keep him alive. And
What
he's
a
going to
dash in by Scylla.
The fight's going every way, but finally the jungle shows up, and he's going to take down Dark Paladin. KhrisThaDemon's going to find Alchemines, who got a little too far forward trying to chase a kill. Now Jacobfrostsoap is under threat, and it's going to be a good
that Yamoja 3 almost saved
from the mid-jungle combo. Or no, it's a solo laner.
Yeah, that's a 3 for nothing.
It's a 3-0 trade in favor of Nightly Koalas in a fight that lasted up and down the mid lane, all from a rotation. Alchemines really just stepping way too far forward there kind of cost Ice Age the fight. And I'm not sure what that play was about.
That was a really good Aegis by the Poseidon, and then Alka just dashed in. He got kill hungry, and he should have played a little bit more passive there for sure.
And
shout out to Freaky, by the way, because I'm pretty sure he didn't stop talking for like 5 minutes, because that's how long that fight lasted.
Call it experience, brother. I've done this at least a year now. But anyways, whew. Got me a drink of water. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
that was very impressive. Yeah, that was a very extended fight, which I'm very surprised went horribly wrong for Ice Age, because you got to think with Chalk Heal and Yamoja, like the elongated fights are better for them because you have Yamoja Heal, you have the sustain. Like the only one that's really like sustaining on that team is the AO and Soul. So
I think what really kind of like put the nail in the coffin for Ice Age and why that fight went so bad for them was at the moment when Alchemines just got so thirsty for that kill onto Vidaniel that he just dashes forward into the back line and then has no way out, and the rest of his team is separated by an Odin Cage. But here we go again. It's an ultimate that secures the Fire Giant, and it's every member of Nightly Koalas that is ready for this fight. Here goes the wall. Here goes the wall.
Sick Yamoja ult too.
Completely wall off the entire team. Great peel from Talonreese to save his team.
That was a very good Yamoja ult. He locked that Odin in place too. So I'm assuming this is going to be
Fire Giant on the side of Nightly Koalas.
I'm assuming this has to be the 2 T towers, the two towers left. Words are hard, and then I'd like to see them just hard push left because that lane is very pushed up, and it's the best Phoenix to take.
There's a lot of pressure put onto the mid laner, though, from Nightly Koalas. And now the fight's going to turn around into Ice Age's favor. It's a Fire Giant fight that is being lost. Dark Paladin, though, is going to take up the kill, or is going to die. I mean, too silent.
Which was
meanwhile in the mid, traded.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, KhrisThaDemon died to Alchemines, finally getting that positioning better. Sorry, I'm going to have to keep talking because here goes Jacobfrost. Going to blink in or teleport in and ult. But it's going to be responded by Phoneinacup, who's going to use the ultimate himself. And there's the Phantom drop. Teleporting back in is Jacobfrost from Supp, but there's nothing there for him to teleport to but the wave. And they're finally going to drop this fight. Looks like Nightly Koalas realized there was no way they were getting that tower without their ADC.
Which is pretty big out of Ice Age. If there was probably one person I would have liked to seen them take the Fire Giant off of is that ADC. Frenzy is popped, so as I say, Ice Age should get this with pretty much ease, even though there was an Ares there.
Yeah, not really much of a threat Ares is going to be able to do there. I mean, use or fire, and it's like it's not guaranteed steal, you know. But here's what's more important is the fact that it's a Pyro for Fury trade here,
And it's a
And I
primal
mean, it's
too.
yeah, it's a free primal. And I mean, great job on Ice Age to get the farm when it was there and knowing that they could get it, but just not able to contest that because not only did you have every member there and then go back to farming your own camps and not checking the rest of the objectives on the map. When you know you can beat a fire giant team, you just did it. And you used your frenzy as well. So you kind of put yourself in this deficit of, well, if we want to contest an objective, we certainly don't have the capability at this point.
Yeah, I want to point out that Poseidon is level 20 and is not full
Mhm.
build, but did choose to get Pendulum of Aegis. So he has many of cooldowns because he has Chronos Pendant and Aegis. So Krakens are going to be willy nilly, and I'm about it. Which is it's pretty big for them because it's a pretty big objective secure. And with the Scylla on the other team, who does not have as many cooldowns, she only has the Deso. I think it's very important because I think Scylla's confirm is a little easier to hit because you can't really get CC'd. So, and as I say that, it looks like Ice Age is grouping towards Fire, which is
But
not up for another minute 30.
I think these teams are just grouping around the fire, just trying to find picks right now, which Silent Kill has really put himself pretty far forward as
That's a
everyone
good
jumps on
TP,
him.
good
Good
ult.
root.
Yep.
Not really a whole lot to cast there. It's just death. Alchemines lands the root crush combo, and what else can you do except die? So with that being done, yeah, that this is definitely gonna hurt them a lot now.
They indeed have only gotten one T1. It
They
looks
got a
like
gold
they're
carry.
about to take the T2. They did get gold. That was one of the first Krakens I've seen hit, which was huge. He unfortunately falls. That was a really good ult by Odin, though. I don't know why he stayed in the cage.
Oh no, but look
So,
on the left side of the map.
oh,
Oh, they're trying to kill Phoneinacup on the right side. By the way, that's the solo laner. He's going to be pretty tough to kill.
he
Over
is.
here on the left side, we could drag that
He,
cursor over there on her, uses the ultimate. He might die here. But
I mean,
that's not
Phone
what's
of the Cup's
important. What's
eventually.
important right now is that KhrisThaDemon is going to get this left Phoenix and then going to drop the ult onto Alchemines. He's going to try to find the kill, but it's a little too much to commit on there, bud.
And
ZaBaba-Yaga, knowing
Alchemy
he's
did
in
ult.
danger, just blinks. He did use ult, so
That was
he did
still
feel like
ult.
it was a threat.
Yeah, that was still ult. So,
So
but they
all in
did get the
all,
Phoenix. They got a Gold Fury, a T2, and a Phoenix.
there you go. You finally found value out of this fire giant, and unfortunately, just I don't even know what to call it. I mean, would you
It
call
did
it
take.
bad positioning, just not paying attention, a
I
ward?
think it's just a little bit of bad map awareness and positioning. Yeah,
Yeah,
like it was very dysfunctional all the way around. The team with fire wasn't being very coordinated, and the team fighting against fire wasn't being very coordinated. There was no reason they shouldn't have been able to take the T2 tower the first siege, but it was just
hmm
very dysfunctional. And then
I
there was
agree.
no reason for Chris to die there as well. But it does look like Ice Age is starting up the enhanced fire giant,
EFT,
which is very interesting to me because they know Scylla has used alt,
and they don't have frenzy.
and they don't have a ward, so they have no idea that Poseidon is here, and AO has already found a pick, and I think they need to give up fire
Here comes the
because
contest, and there's the ultimate from
that's a
Silent
triple
Kill
kill.
that's going to pick up Talonreese. Ice Age
Ice Age
does
does drop
actually end up
fire.
getting the fire, but they're not going to go
Vega's
down
gonna
without a
die.
fight. Here comes the chase. PeGaSui does use the Aegis and use the beads, I mean, but ends up falling. Now they're going to turn their
Jacob's
attention to
dead.
Jacob Frost, and for an EFG take, it ends up going nowhere because Nightly Koalas played
They
perfectly
end.
around that.
They end. They can end here.
They're going to go for that mid tower and make sure they whittle away at this health bar just a little more before walking straight into the throne room, I hope, and not stopping for this.
This is what we like to
Phoenix.
call a run it down mid, gentlemen. I'd like to see them just try to hard end here.
Okay,
Paladins is up, but it's still a 5v2.
he's not going to be up by the time it's time to go. Blink
That's
comes
a
out.
huge ult.
Alchemines is going to drop the ultimate, but it looks like it hit somebody with
Yeah,
Aegis,
that's
and here
game
comes the
one.
Poseidon ult. Alchemines finds the last kill he can get, making 12, 3, and 4 the record for Silent Kill. No, wait. What? Did he die? It didn't show him No, he didn't die, but it said he
I,
died.
it said he died. It said he got a kill, but he did
I'm
not
not
die.
crazy, right?
No, you're not. It did say that
Okay.
he indeed did a kill. Yeah.
But anyways, game 1, Nightly Koalas, done in spectacular fashion.
Indeed, they had one less kill, but had many of gold, and that does show that XP and gold are more important than kills. So
Absolutely. It was a
they
very
did.
it was a very tough early game from them, and it's very rare that you see teams, especially in this level of play, in this division, I should say, uh, where you kind of like lose your late game, but you don't lose it so hard that you just bring it back. And that, I mean, that's like SPL strats, to be honest. Like, not even some of our Odin teams pull off what this Nightly Koalas team just did. And you can call it luck, you can call it whatever you want, but I mean, at the end of the day, Titan's dead on the other side of the map, and I just think it's great play from them. And even with a few misplays off of that fire giant pull, they still find a way to get value out of it. And this team pulled their objectives expertly. Not even in the case of when they pulled it, but when the enemy team pulled it, they really know how to play their objectives.
I'd like to see the Poseidon run back for that reason. Um, However, my one adjustment to the Poseidon play is I think he was 100% hit rate on objectives and about a 5 on players, which is a little upsetting. Uh, but they definitely seem to have the objective control.
Mhm.
And I think that is a very important thing, especially in lower divisions, because like I can tell you for a fact that like there are people in Loki that don't still understand how to pull fire correctly, and not knowing how to do that, tanks burn very quickly. So having that objective secure and safety is very important.
Absolutely. Now, one thing I do want to see also on the side of Ice Age is clearly Silent Kill is very strong on this Ao Kuang, which means if they're going to make an adjustment, they need to make two. One, I'm not a fan of the build on the Fenrir. I don't normally harp on builds on cast, but this one I'm not sure what he was going for. He has auto attack items and ability based items, and he went Pestilence, which I guess I can understand. But you got to get Silent Kill off this Ao Kuang. I mean, this guy finishes the game either 12-3-4 or 12-4-4. And not to take anything away from Dark Paladin, very good game from him in the early game. He went around, he put his pressure properly, he farmed when he could, but every time he was walking through the map, he took farm when he walked by it, and then he went straight to the next lane. The man was on a world tour for the first 5 minutes of the game.
I agree. I agree. I think the adjustment is I think Paladins needs to play something a little bit more comfortable, and something he understands a little bit more, and AO needs to be banned. On the side of builds, I would like to point out that Jacob did not buy a finished starter item after the Rangdas sell. He bought brawlers, and I would have liked to seen that Tainted Steel instead. I get the anti-heal need, but I feel like both either way you go about it, both upgrades to the Tainted Tree are
Mhm.
ridiculous.
Especially with there being so much magic damage, a tainted amulet from him would actually have been
Yeah, because you're healing on
perfect.
your 3, and you're healing from the amulet, and it gives you even more yeah, I think amulet would have been the play instead of the brawlers. I
Especially
understand what sorry, go ahead.
Yes. No, yeah, especially since the Al Kwong was just bearing on him at the late game the entire time and had so much shred. I mean, if you look at the Al Kwong build, he has 3 lifesteal items in the back of the build, including Typhon's Fang and Bancroft's. Both are just really strong lifesteal items. If you'd have had a Tainted Amulet there, you would have been healing the whole time he was hitting you as well. And that just makes it so much harder for an Al Kwong to kill you, regardless of anti-heal and whatever else you can throw into the mix there. 20% is 20%, and as a shock, you're healing, then you're healing off of an item, so you're increasing your overall healing. So unless they have an onk, it's going to be really difficult to deal with you there.
I agree. And I would have liked to seen Chris pick up the upgraded blood soaked, right? Because
Hmm.
sacrificial is the one you take damage
Sacrificial,
is the
yeah.
one that yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't play mages, so I don't know that item. I just know that one hurts you when you do things and one does not.
One
So
heals you for a lot, the other hurts you to do damage.
pretty much, yeah. I'm dumb solo laner. I just build tank items and that's it.
Are you
So
kidding
I
me?
don't
You're
know
solo
these
lane.
things.
I mean, Guardians have been in the meta for a little bit. You should know what that item is, or you just refuse to play those. Do you just not like the idea of putting Guardians in the solo lane?
I agree with what Cap said. I would have liked to seen. Hear me out, Mirrodin. I'd have liked to see Mirrodin there.
I actually like, preferably as someone who has played quite a bit of support. When it comes to support items, it's either it's kind of one or the other. Either you're building Spear of Deso for that off percentage cooldown, so you're getting cooldown off of your items, and then you're getting cooldown off of passives as well. And then you're also getting, or you go into, and you're also getting that pin. You know, obviously 110 power pin is just nice on any guardian. Or Pythax piece is not a
I
bad
think
choice, I guess,
Pythax would have been good. Yeah.
but again, there's also Spare the Magus. And I mean, anytime you can get your team to deal more damage, that's really the goal, is it not? Deal more
I,
damage.
yeah, I think Pythax would have been great. I think another situational item he could have built here was Rod of Asclepius. I think
Yeah,
that would have
fair.
been good as well because it gives him more damage with the aura and it gives him more healing with the aura in the same vein.
A lot of
So
different options he could have went for, definitely, especially since he had that lead at the end. So he definitely had a lot of room to play with. But I don't think I blame him for the item choices that he made at the end. Anyways, he definitely had liberty with the build.
we're going into picks and bans for next game. About wonderful. Well, good. That gives me time to answer your previous question. I play one god, and that's Tsukiyomi, and I don't play anything else.
It's
So
okay. I've casted like 3 of your games, and I think I've seen you play
I
Tsukiyomi at least in once in all of those sets.
I still don't understand why people think it's a surprising thing when we play.
I don't. I'm
It's
ready for it. If I see
it's what
Scopy and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna see Tsukiyomi, and they're gonna
it's
think it's going jungle. It's not.
it's one thing. I play one thing okay, and that's it. Everything else is just bad. Yeah, yeah. Have you talked to Boone lately? Yep, he knows that pain. Literally every set we go into, he's like, "Man, I wish I could play Athena, but I know they're gonna ban it. Must be nice." I have no stars on any gods, so I I played on console before I joined the league, and I was it was a mid ADC. Played a lot of on her. Well, that's no fun. We should be going into picks and bans very soon. I love it. They can't hear you, and I can hear you, so it just sounds like I'm talking to myself, and it's great.
I'm here. I'm also answering on Discord. I mean, like typing.
Have they?
Have
I
they?
don't know. We didn't get picks and bans last time. Not gonna. We didn't get picks and bans last time, so
Hopefully, we get P and Bs this time. That would be nice.
that'd be nice. My perspective of changing game 2 is I think in the lower divisions they don't prioritize the this guy just absolutely fragged on our team, so let's take this away from him. And I would really like to see the AO ban.
Yeah, I mean, the AO ban is obviously gonna be the bigger ban here. I mean, he did. He didn't have the presence that Finner had in the first 5 minutes, but it didn't end up mattering. He farmed really well on that god, and then came in about mid game and said, "Okay, I'm ready, guys. This is my time to shine." And for the most part, was very successful. And another thing I'd like to change is uh, the composition. I feel like Fenrir and Yamoja are not the greatest combos when it comes to gods because it's like one's a really team fight oriented god, the other one you're kind of focusing around a pick time. As we find out, they're going to be remaking this lobby because issue with the setup, so we're going to be waiting on them to set that lobby back up. But anyways, I'd like to see a little bit of change, mainly in the support. I mean, PeGaSui was great on the ADC role, though. He had a really good early game. It's just unfortunately, once you get sold to that level 15, 16 point, trying to box with that is impossible. And Onher's just not in the best spot right now. So I would like to see him switch up, not necessarily to something more meta, but if he's going to build the bow build, I'd like to see him build something that utilizes that bow build better. Or if he's going to go back to the on her, use the crit build that's going to benefit for on her way better than the bow build will, because the bow build is only really good for characters with stems, and on her is one doesn't have a stem, and two with that ultimate is very reliant on having some power to back him up. So a Devos or a Transcendence pickup there would be great instead, and then trying to build crit after. But that's just my opinion.
I don't disagree with everything you said except for one thing. I don't necessarily think the Fenrir was entirely the problem in the sense of the team comp with the Emoja. I think, believe it or not, the problem there stemmed from the Chalk pick. Chalk doesn't really do much in team fights, and if you're gonna have a Fenrir, you need somebody that's gonna help out in the team fights with that. So I would have liked to seen him prioritize something with pressure as well. Like Cucullin, King Arthur, Osiris, Hercules, or even in the same vein with like team comp wise, like a Jing Chen or a Cerberus, because as you said, Guardians are pretty meta right now in the solo lane. Even a Sobek. Um, Something to just kind of like, if you're not going to try to hard pressure to help get your Fenrir ahead, something that's just going to stall out that lane to help with the team fight late with the Emoja.
I think a lot of people kind of seem to forget that these Guardians right now, I mean, especially with the way that uh, Bloodsoaked Shroud and its, smaller counterpart, Vampiric Shroud, work. I mean, these Guardians can find ways to do damage, and they're a little bit tankier than their Warrior counterparts, so they can actually get away with building some more aggressive items. Yeah, we
It
will.
appears we're having some technical difficulties on Cap's end as well as the game itself, I believe. So unfortunate for everybody else, they get to listen to me and Freaky just ramble about things. So did you play already, Freaky?
Yeah, we played it too. Did you?
Yeah, we played it too.
Oh, okay.
I didn't look at the schedule because I'm I'm not an adult, so
Yeah, we played against who did we play against?
I don't
I
know. I
forgot
can just
already.
be smart and
KWM.
go check.
But yeah, if anything, I think a great idea would be just to go to a break.
We're
Oh, are we?
going. We're good.
If they're ready to go,
I'm
if they're
ready
not
to
ready to
go.
go, yeah. All right, so we're
Wonderful.
just gonna take a quick break, everybody, until at least until the rat teams get the lobby up and are ready to go. Looks like they're having some technical difficulties on their end. We're also having some slight ones, so we'll be well, we're still waiting on them, so we'll go ahead and go to a quick break until they're ready. So stick around. We'll be here. All right, and we are back. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody stuck around long enough for us to get everything worked out. Looks like we have both these teams ready to go, and we'll be loading in shortly. And while we were there, me and you had a chance to talk for a little bit, Scopy, about some other things that we might not have mentioned. Uh, what was one of them? I think you said something about how Nightly Koalas could have won that game faster.
I feel like if they played a little bit more coordinated, and I think I said this after the game. I feel like if Poseidon had been a little bit more accurate with his alts in the first game, they probably could have ended the game in like 15, 20 minutes instead of, I think it was like 25. No, because we had
Oh,
EFG, so
yeah,
it
yeah.
was past 30. Yeah. I
Mhm.
definitely feel like that could have been a very big snowball for them because they got AO so far ahead. And then Kraken with AO in the team fight is just nasty. So.
Yeah, yeah, just so much damage. And I mean that was what it really came down to is just that team was at the end of it was just doing so much damage. And then of course, the superior the superior objective play.
Which, like I said, I mean, I give the Poseidon credit where credit is due. He did really good. I think there was one out of all of the objectives that were taken. I think there was one kind of missed Kraken, and I think he timed it slightly late. But he still secured it with the Kraken. So um, props to him for that because that is something that is very hard to learn, believe it or not,
Mm.
is managing when you should and shouldn't. Because if you do it too early, then you lose it. If you do it too late, you might not have secured it. So yeah, just a little bit more accuracy out of the Krakens if they run back to Poseidon, and I definitely could see them snowballing game two pretty heavily.
Also, one thing I think that they would help them out in the future is just like we said. I think we mentioned it, but we'll go ahead and recap. Just grouping up a little better after that. Once you get that fire giant, grouping up as five and deathballing, that's kind of the play that you want to go for. And they really just split themselves up. It's almost like they got fire and it was like, now what? Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it just looked like they were a little confused. Like they picked up the fire and it was like, okay, yeah, we got the big objective, but what do we do now? There was an attempt at a siege on a tier two after I think they lost. Who did they lose in that fight? I think they lost their.
Yeah,
They
and they
lost. Yeah.
lost. Yeah, they lost their soul, and then still pushed the T2 tower. Which I mean, it was a stalemate at the end. I don't think they. I don't think they lost any. They didn't lose anybody else out of it. But yeah, I think it would have been better for them to understand at that point, like, hey, our ADC is dead. Let's just reset, buy items. We have fire. Because at that point, they didn't fully reset, and then they eventually ended up 3v3. They were 3-2 split. There were three of them on the fire giant side, and then the ADC and I think Phoneinacup, if I remember correctly, were
ADC and support.
pushing down. Yeah, it was the support, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, it was
ZaBaba.
the Ares. Yeah, they ended up pushing down the left lane with fire, and that lane was completely pushed to their T2 tower. And I would have liked to see them when their ADC died, just call it a wash, reset, and focus on wave management. Because had they done that by the time Chris respawned, even though he didn't have fire, they would have been able to group up and probably take that left Phoenix pretty easily. So.
Still would have absolutely been able to take a tier two once that respawn comes through.
Oh,
I 100% agree with you there. And I do, I can't specify enough though how amazing it is to see a team sit there and watch another team pull fire and go, okay, but we can still fight them. And after not being able to, even though you're not able to secure the fight, you still take the fight after, knowing that there's some low health bars. Take advantage of that, EFG or not. Win the fight. Very good play from them. I mean, I could watch
yeah.
that over and over, and I mean, there's no better way to say it except expert objective play. That is really good from especially from a rat
Looks
team.
like we're going into picks and bans, gentlemen.
Hey, we get P and Bs this
We
time.
do. This is a new screen to me. I didn't get to see it in game one. It looks like Ice Age chose. Were they first pick game one or was it Koalas?
It was Koala's first pick game
That's what I
one.
thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it looks like Ice Age chose first pick. With the first pick, I'd like to see them bait out something for their mid. Their mid played their backline played very well. So I'd like to see them, yeah, first ban the Ao Kwang. That's what I was gonna say. I'd like to see them first ban the Ao Kwang and then try to prioritize something for their mid laner early. Morgan Le Fay is just very obnoxious to play against. It's a good ban. Gilgamesh literally in the same vein, just very annoying to play against. That is also a good ban.
Yeah, I mean, and like we said, it's good to see that Ice Age is recognizing the strengths of this Nightly Koalas team and went ahead and took that Ao Kuang away from them early. The Scotty ban must be
I was just say I'm
targeted. That's got to be
assuming
targeted.
I'm assuming that's a Pega thing because like I've never seen anybody ban Scotty 2 games in a row. So
Yeah, I've never seen somebody ban Scotty. Period. And, like she's just she's a feels bad god to ban. That's what I call those. You hate banning them, but sometimes you just gotta ban them. And in Scotty's case, that always feels like one of those gods to me, where it's like I have to ban this god, but of all the gods I'd want to ban, this is not it.
I feel that. And into the same vein, she's a feel good god as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Loki and Tiamat rounding out the first round of bans, and they hover the Poseidon.
And I like this.
I
I like
do.
this. Taking
I
that away from Vidaniel after doing so well with as he did with that pick. Very smart decision from Ice Age to just say, hey, he did good on it. Even though he didn't hit every ult, he hit all his ults on objectives and still secured well. So we're gonna make sure he doesn't get to play that again.
that's I was agree 100%.
I took the words right out of your mouth again. I'm so sorry.
You did. No, like he had such good secure of the objectives that he gave his entire team the pressure with objectives. So I like the Odin and the Soul. Chris did really well on the Soul. I mean, he lost early, but he did really well. I like the Set hover. I don't see a lot of people playing Set, and I still think he's really good in the jungle and
I,
Ganesh is just super safe support. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
like the set pickup here. No, it's great. I mean, yeah, I like the set pickup as well. Kind of a mix up from what they played last, and I do agree that the Finra looked good, but just ended up kind of falling off a little too hard. And I hope this is more of a comfortability thing for this jungler. If this is a jungle set, there's a possibility that it is a set
Um,
carry or set solo.
so they did ban Set game one.
Oh, yeah, they did,
They
didn't
they
they?
did ban Set game 1, so I'm assuming the Koalas know that either whether this be solo or jungle, that it's a comfort pick for one of the 2 of them.
Yeah. And the Raijin last pick for the third round or for the first round of picks, uh, I kind of I like it, but from what we've seen from Vidaniel so far, it's kind of risky in my opinion. You know, Poseidon, he wasn't like you said 100% accurate most of the time. Going to this Raijin, who in my opinion is a much more technical pick, this could be very difficult for him. And if he is not as accurate, if he's as accurate as he was in that last game with the Poseidon on this Raijin, it could spell disaster for this Koalas team.
I agree. I like the on her ban. I'm assuming the Cthulhu is a target ban towards Jacob, which I'm not opposed to because Guardians are making a rise in solo again, and he played really well in the chalk. And Cthulhu's ahead are very annoying. So Suki and Ymir are 2 really good bans. I actually really like the Ymir because he does really well against Poseidon and Set. Um, but I agree with the Raijin. Raijin's definitely a lot harder to play than Poseidon. And this is a lot less objective pressure for the Koalas, which is something they were really good at in game 1. So
Yeah. And it looks like this Nightly Koalas is going to get this first pick for the second round. They're taking their time with this pick. Means they're really thinking about what they want and how they want to prioritize here. And then they still need. Oh, well, it sounds like we have some technical issues instead. So it looks like we're going to have to reset the lobby once again.
to
Is it
be honest
technical
with the
issues on our
way,
side or their side? Okay.
oh, all right,
Okay, so it looks like there
yeah,
was a crash, and they're gonna be going back into P's and B's. Well, they're gonna probably are they gonna do?
yeah,
They're
they
gonna do
have
blind
to,
pick, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, they still have 4 picks in total, right? So
Yeah,
they could very well do a blind pick, though.
we'll see. We'll see what they decide to do. Um,
So let me throw a hypothetical your way. What would you
hmm.
like to see out of the last 2 picks for Ice Age, and same for the Koalas?
uh, I feel like the Ice Age is definitely easier for me to go for. I don't want to see Chalk again. Set really benefits from having a solo laner that's gonna peel for him if this is a set jungle. So if this is a set jungle, I would really like to see a solo laner that's gonna be able to go in and dive with him and be able to peel him in those fights to make sure he can do that kind of carryover damage, similar to a Kali. Uh, and then for the carry pick, I mean, anything that is comfortable for PeGaSui.
Okay, so we are back into picks and bans. Okay. They picked Ares.
So going back to the Ares Nightly Koalas. Now this is interesting. Raijin, I think definitely will benefit from the Ares, but it's not as much burst follow up like you had with the Poseidon before. But at the same time, Ares solo does kind of work, so they're kind of taking something away from Ice Age as well with this pick. Still a good pick though, and you're gonna have Soul follow up. You're gonna have Odin follow up if they do get the good Ares ult. There's gonna be a cage right behind it, I'm sure. Very good decision to just go back to this solid support. And Zababa did not seem to miss very many chains. If he
Yeah,
missed
he
anything,
played.
like 90% hit rate on chains, that would look really good from him.
Yeah, I was gonna say he looked really good game one with the Ares, and Ares pull into Soul Raijin. I really hope that's not a chalk. I really hope that's just a hover and he picks something else because I agree. Um, I feel like something like a Hercules or like a King Arthur, somebody that can dive with the set, but as well peel for the set as he locks in the chalk, was very correct in the thought process. You need somebody that can help CC for the set, and a Thanatos.
So who are
Uh,
you in Thanatos? What do you think?
Personally, I take the Koalas here. I really like their draft. Silent was super impressive game one, and he was on a late game god, and now he has Thana, who is a very early game god, and if he can snowball with Thana, I take Koalas too. So this is all dependent on the Poseidon. I think on their side, the set and the Poseidon, how well they can, how well he can dive and how well Poseidon can follow up with his damage. So
Yeah, and just a counterpoint to throw out there. This Thanatos here, a very strong early game pick. But one thing that really like makes me enjoy the idea of this Thanatos in this composition for Koalas is that there's a lot of burst potential and there's a lot of damage that's going to come out from this entire team. Ares is known for hitting hard as a guardian from early to late just because of how he can be built and what his fire just does percent health damage and such. Soul, huge burst off of like maybe two abilities only. Odin does damage because Odin exists. I mean, there's so much damage. So there's going to be a lot of chances for this Thanatos to either play setup for Raijin or Soul, or there's going to be opportunities where he can come in and clean sweep a team. Uh, the only thing that's probably going to set him back is the presence of Ganesh. And the only thing that's setting him back with the presence of Ganesh is the fact that if he blinks in the silence, if Reese, I can't remember it, Talonreese is quick with it, is that silence. If he silences him as he blinks in or something, it's going to be difficult for him to actually find his targets. But other than that, yeah, this Thanatos pick, I actually really like it. There's a lot of setup that can be used off of this Thanatos pick in the early game, and a lot of cleanup potential as well.
I
Uh,
agree. This is a lot on the shoulders of the
mm,
Ganesh to stop that dive because he can do a lot of work to that Thana and Ares if they try to dive. It just like you said, it depends on how quick he is and how good he is with his ohms. So
Ice Age is really dependent on extremely good execution right now. Gonna have to require a lot of technical tank switching and stuff to make this set thrive in the backline of Nightly Koalas. And in some ways, you're almost banking on mistakes as well with the way they drafted this. Kachuk, like we already mentioned, just doesn't have the kind of peel from a solo laner that you're going to want that's going to support the set's ability to deal damage without being picked up and cleaned up. One thing that is benefiting this set is that Ares is not the kind of guardian that's going to hard CC you down and get you blown up and killed. But the Odin has a stun. The Thanatos has a stun off of his ultimate and a silence as well, so making it to where you can't ult if he lands it accurately. And then Soul just is gonna make it to where she can peel herself off of a set with her ultimate, with her 2, with her disapparate. There's a lot of factors that are gonna play into this Ice Age draft as to whether or not it'll work. You're gonna have to rely on your team to deal damage first, and then you have to come in behind them and clean up after. So you're gonna have to wait for Shock to use his initiation, get that ultimate. Hope to God that Poseidon can get some beads or an Aegis burnt with his ultimate as well, and then maybe Hou Yi can follow up behind as well with damage once that initial dive takes place. So you're really relying on the rest of your team, and that's what I mean by when I say an execution heavy draft. Ice Age, while looking very untechnical with the way they've drafted, have actually managed to draft a very technical team.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Um, this is it's going to be very rough for Ice Age. It's a very, like you said, not necessarily. It's a very team technical. You know, you have to play very smart with that set because he can clean up a whole team fight if he plays it correctly. But it's if he plays it correctly. So
Still waiting on the teams to get the game loaded in. Like we're having more technical issues on the side of their end. Yeah, it seems like both teams are having trouble. That's what I'm getting from production right now.
Smite
So,
is a good game. We love
since
Smite.
no, 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 we can't say stuff like that. Smite is a good game, though. Smite is a good game.
We love Smite. Yeah, Smite is a good game. We love Smite. I play it every day.
There's technical issues in all these games. We could go watch Dota 2, and I guarantee you it's gonna have some technical issues. We could go watch Overwatch, and they're gonna have some struggles as well. But yeah, we're working on it. We're getting these guys ready. These guys are getting themselves ready. I'm sure they're hyped up. Everybody wants to just get into this game and get it done. Especially from Ice Age's position. They had some good moments. They were controlling that early game really well. They have a better late game draft, in my opinion. They took the Al Kwong away, which is something we said they needed to do. So they drafted smart, or they banned smartly, but it looks like just with their draft, they kind of fell a little short on some things and didn't really prioritize on how they wanted this set to deal damage. I think it almost feels like in a way, I feel like if they want this set to thrive, you have to almost play a protect the president comp with this set. Do you agree?
I would agree entirely. I think you need to send the chalk to go do damage, and then everybody else just says set, no touch set, and hope
Just form
that
a
he
giant phalanx wall around the set and just don't let them touch him.
listen. They banned Ymir, so you can't physically place a wall, so you guys become the wall. That is what needs to happen. On the same vein to that, though, Ganesh can do really well with the dive comp that the Koalas do have. And if Set plays, see, this is why I feel like it's a very technical game because if the Koalas start hot and heavy like they did, if Set plays smart and waits on Ganesha to kind of ohm and CC some of that hard dive and let the Poseidon or the Hou Yi get some damage off, he can really turn that fight and just start snowballing it in their favor a lot.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to come down to a very big battle of the supports in this game. Both supports need to play as best as they can for their drafts to work properly. It just seems like on the execution side of things, Ice Age definitely drafted a much more execution dependent comp. Whereas with Koalas, you can kind of be a little lazy with it. Oh yeah, Ares ulted and everyone beads did or ulted to get out of the pool. Oh well, now we have other CC to fall on that's gonna make it to where the Ares burning beads is a good thing, especially with Thanatos.
I would like to see five beads as well since we're on that topic. I'd
Mhm.
like to see five beads off the rip. I think the only one on the team that doesn't really need it uh level 1 is Chalk because he does have a CC immune ult and he's probably not going to be seeing the Ares till close to level 12ish. Um but I definitely think out of the Ganesh set, Poseidon and Hou Yi, you need to have beads. And I think people get baited with set the same way they do Tsukiyomi. They think that you need blink, And I don't think you necessarily need Blink on set. You definitely don't need it on Suki, but I definitely don't like. I don't hate it, but I don't think you need it on set as much as you do other characters.
I think
As for
maybe you're
getting
kind of
game,
thinking a better comparison there would be like kind of like Set versus Kali, whereas Kali doesn't need that blink for the initiation or for that setup start.
yeah.
Set doesn't really need it either. I see what you're saying. I get what you're throwing out there. I like it.
So it
I
is
like
it is a set jungle 100%. I was a little concerned that this might be a chalk jungle and everything we had just talked
Hey,
about was for nothing, but
hey, Chalk Jungle slaps hard, and I think Shock is a better jungler than he ever will be
I
a solo laner.
I am not disagreeing with that statement. I was just saying we were talking about the set being very key in the jungle, and then it would have been real funny if he was the solo. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I dream of it though. I would love to see one game, especially in an Odin game. That would be great. Where we just see Shock Jungle. Someone just says, "Hey, I'm playing this." Just so much damage. His fall off is a lot less hard on him whenever it comes to late game because he's still gonna hurt you. He just doesn't survive like he does out of the solo lane. But yeah, I don't know. It's theoretical. It's stuff. Excuse me. Theoretical stuff. Uh,
So, um, Ganesh bought a Phantom level 1, and Chalk bought Blink. Everybody else has beads. I don't think you need the Phantom that early. I think he should have went beads. Um, bless you.
thank you.
But I also want to point out before we get too far into the game, and we have a moment to talk about this. I don't like the Bluestone out of Phone in the Cup. I
No,
think I think Fighters into Warriors Axe is much better on Odin than Bluestone. Ooh, that's tough. Baba finished the camp, so Soul is not going to get any of that XP, but he is going to hit level 2 before they are. They're gonna clear this wave before they even get there.
might be all his plan. Seeing an Ares at level 2 right now, that's
He hit
great for
2.
him. Yeah.
That's
Ares is
huge.
definitely the kind of guardian I would want to see hit level 2. Soul has the luxury to wait around and just farm up a little more. Not really the hugest power spike you would get out of a carry at level 2 from Soul. Whereas Ares is definitely going to benefit from an earlier power spike. And I mean, look, he's already doing work. There he is. He's hitting those chains like he has been in the past.
Jeez, they're both still. They just ticked over to level 2. Yeah, I don't disagree that that Ares, probably better to hit level 2 before the Soul because it does get him to the level 3 power spike um, a little faster. And he hits another chain. That's a good ohm though. Ganesh might fall. Looks like
Oh
he is.
no.
Chris does hit the auto, which is definitely better. I feel get the soul ahead early is important.
Definitely a great start, and a much better start from what happened in game one. Could definitely skyrocket Koalas into another early game, or skyrocket them into late game a little faster now, as both of these guys hit level 3 at about the same time.
Paladins is
Oh,
gonna have to back super early. He's very low, and
oh
Pega
wow!
dies as well. Wow.
Huge early lane start. Huge
Yeah.
early game start in the duo lane.
2 kills off the rip, 1 for each. It's not what you like to see on an Ares and a Soul.
Not really a whole lot of action though. You don't see you're not seeing Dark Paladin putting the pressure like he did earlier. Do you think with Set you really kind of have to wait for late game, or is he one of those gods that can actually has a decent enough early game power spike that he can make things
So
happen?
with Set, you're not really doing much in jungle until level 5, and you get like that Crusher online or that Stone Cutting online. I would have liked to seen with the mannequins that he built. I would have liked to seen a Crusher, but I would have liked to see him go Eye personally instead of mannequins. But yeah, no, you're not really doing much until level 5 anyways. So it's pretty normal. I'd like to see him farm up, wait till he gets the Stone Cutting, and then make an impact. However, as I say that, he half hits the Raijin,
Yeah,
so and he's looking to attempt to steal the purple, maybe? No, I think he realized that Ares is there. No, he is going to go back in. Ares misses his chain. Looks like they're
Only
gonna
because of
confirm.
range.
I mean, he hasn't missed one that hasn't been ohmed yet, so
Yeah. I do agree with the set power spike. He is one of those gods, with what you said about it. He is one of those gods that does kind of want to wait till level 5, but I think he's very underestimated on what kind of power spike he's going to get. His shock ults at his feet, and it's Jacobfrostsoap that's going to go down almost instantly from that ultimate. So it's a solo kill, the way of Jacobfrostsoap. But we saw him do this last game, and it's a double pull from the Ares, and
that should be a double
KhrisThaDemon is
kill.
going to find a huge double kill again in the duo lane. And these guys are just taking it over here on the left side of the map.
2 levels. They have 2 levels on this duo lane. I also want to point out that the Ganesh hit 4 and Hou-Yi did not. So this Hou-Yi is behind super early, and I'd like to see Paladins try to shut down this Ares more than this Soul, because once you get Ares rolling, he's not gonna stop, and he's already rolling. So
Kind of like Geb rollout. You know, you
kind
start
of,
rolling, it's hard to stop.
yes, that is a very good analogy. They're putting pressure on the Odin, which I don't hate. You know, you're losing on one side, try to get ahead on the other, kind of thing. I don't disagree. I'd like to see the blue buff invade out of here. Looks like he's gonna go back in. The health bars are now gone. They are gonna Paladins. There they are. Paladins does pick up a kill, which is very important, I think, on the set. Because like I said, he's a little later than the Thana, so you know, getting that gold, getting ahead, putting the Odin and Thana behind by taking the blue. Good rotation, however, clearing the Scorp, get pressure on the left side, Gold Fury's on the left side, kind of thing. Makes a lot of sense.
I think last game they didn't get this Fire Giant or Gold Fury Scorpion until like level.
Thana's gonna
Oh
kill.
wow!
Thana's gonna kill in mid too.
It's 2v1 in the duo lane, and this Soul is making quick work of it. Alchemines does go down in the mid, as you said, to silent kill. So, trading out the jungles 1-0, both each. And the duo lane still continues to rampage on the left side of the map.
The Soul
Soul,
is
I should say.
4-0-1. Yeah, she's 4-0-1.
It is smart, though, that Set is putting the pressure on the right side, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to see the repeated blue invades. I don't think they have a ward on the blue. I know they have timer because they took it, but I'd like to see them. I'd like to see Jacob specifically kind of walk in the jungle and ward almost on the left side of that little rock to kind of get vision of the pathing of the Thanatos. So this way you know where he is in correlation to when the buff spawns. Because your duo lane's pretty much gone at this point. The Soul's 4-0-1. You know, you have the Poseidon, so you can steal the Gold Fury. So I would like to see them try to get as much pressure on the right side of the map as possible.
Absolutely. It looks like the jungles are going to play a little selfish here. They're going to take those harpies away and not going to let those ADCs have that farm. You don't need it. You're going to get it eventually, right? As Jacobfrostsoap finds a solo kill in the solo lane, and Alchemines finds a solo kill in the mid lane. So looks like Ice Age are finding their kills when they need them and getting them quite well. I think I've caster's cursed ZaBaba-Yaga.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna say it. I was
talking him up, and now he can't land chains. He's landed significantly less chains.
Because you said something about it.
I should have just never said anything.
Thana is ulting and right. It looks like Jacob is gonna fall.
Please. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
He should be. Yep.
Very nice.
Awesome to make sure it happened, and that's exactly what I was just about to say. Thana has a really good opportunity here to kind of negate what they were trying to do on the right side of the map, because he doesn't have to worry about the left side of the map. And as I say that, there is a fight in left, and Chris is on a rampage 8 minutes into the game. He should pick up a double. Ganesh is going to get out with very low HP. Ooh. Never mind.
Oh my goodness.
That was... Go ahead.
Yeah. No, yeah, go ahead.
That was very smart by Chris there. He played really well, understanding the amount of HP he had, that he could tank the tower, get the kill, and that sets him up for a free gold fury. This should be uncontested between the two as long
I
as
don't
they switch it
know.
correctly. Yeah, they didn't.
Right?
They didn't switch it correctly.
Yeah, and ZaBaba's definitely not gonna be able to tank this, and at least they're smart enough to realize that they have low health bars now, and it's probably a good time to just back off and try and find
That's
something else. But
set alt, and Thana just walks away. Set alt is down.
Chris, you gotta chill. You got low. Ooh.
Thana picks up a kill here. Yeah, set beads.
He's got to land this ultimate, and he will land it, but he's in between two people right now. But here comes ZaBaba. Lands a chain onto the Ganesh, but misses the
Pega
Hoi,
jumps
probably
in.
his original target. There's the beads that gets burned. The slow's not going to save him, though, and ZaBaba-Yaga is going to find him a kill onto PeGaSui. But now that Alchemy's making the rotation out of the mid lane, going to chase down Silent Kill, but he's got the ADC and the support bearing down onto him now. Whirlpool's going to come out, but he's got the ult ready. Alchemy's looking really low, and ZaBaba's going to get the kill with the ultimate. And that's going to be a 2-for-1 trade. No, 2-for-0. No one died. No one died at all over there. So very
Correct.
good play from Nightly Koalas. Good rotations from the mid and support to help out that duo lane and continue to let Chris just stay farmed up.
We have a natural just over K lead for the Koalas right now, and they have not. The only objective they've taken is the gold scorp. It looks like they have paused, or the game has frozen.
Looks like PeGaSui had a DC in that game, in the middle of the game, so we
Yeah,
are
they have
paused right now.
paused. This is really good farming, believe it or not. Even though Ice Age took the blue buff on the second rotation rather. This is really good farming by the Koalas. They have about a K and change worth of a lead right now without the Gold Fury. So, and they have a pretty significant XP as well. Can we go back to the builds real quick? I'd like to see exactly where those leads are. There's a level lead in the jungle. It's mainly on that ADC. Poseidon has a 3-level lead.
I'm sorry, everybody. What?
These are the moments I wish they could hear you, Cap.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What? Yeah, just I don't know what he said. But anyways, yeah, this duo lane is about to take off, and I'm not normally one to count out teams at the 10-minute mark, but they've got to do something about this soul, or it's just over. Like there's nothing I can say except
Yeah.
something's got to
So
change.
they have about a 400 XP lead, and it's literally all on that soul. I mean, Jacob has a level lead. Um, Alka has a level lead. I mean, Ares has a level lead, and Thana has a level lead, but it's not as significant as the level lead in ADC
I mean,
versus.
it's 4 level difference. I mean, you can't get much better than that.
I mean, there is a 3-level difference in the solo lane, which I personally I think between the mid and the solo, that's what's keeping the XP lead so minimal for Koalas right
Mhm.
now. But yeah, if they don't start dealing with this soul soon, I'm assuming that's a Typhons that is about to be built by the 6-0-4 soul, and once that's built, it's pretty much game over.
And what and that's the other thing that's kind of like hard on this Ice Age team is that your leads being put on a Shock who has a significantly harder fall off in the late game versus the lead that's being put on the Soul who has no fall off. She's only going to get stronger by the time late game comes around. So Ice Age is in a position now where do you want to continue to try to feed your Shock and pray that if he makes the late game faster than the Soul does, that he has enough impact at that point to make a difference? Or do you want to transition over to the left and try and get this Hoi farmed up and maybe even get him a couple kills? He's sitting at 0-5 right now, unfortunately. PeGaSui just not having as good of a game on the Hoi as he did the on her. So we finally come unpaused. Back into the game we go.
I'd like to point out as we go back into the game, the map ward coverage right now by the Koalas. They literally just saw every step that this set took in the jungle, in his own jungle.
Yeah, they did.
We'd like to see Chalk 2v1ing. It's a good 2v2 skirmish in mid. Without the mage, who is at rights.
So, we were talking about how Nightly Koalas had really good objective confirm and in that last game, and really good objective usage. As Alchemines completely whiffs the ultimate onto Silent.
We're gonna pretend like we didn't see that.
That sucks. That sucks, man. That's unfortunate.
Feel bad's moment. Bad's moment. But anyways, continue.
How do you feel about their objective secure this time? As we see a whirlpool onto ZaBaba-Yaga, it's going to keep him slowed for a little bit. Misses the ultimate, but not misses it enough, as Alchemy's going to get the kill there. And the Thanatos goes up into the air. We're going to see
could get a return
kill, and he misses the ultimate. And Vidanielrisco uses the ultimate thinking he was going to land on a target, and going to have to use it for wave clear now.
That was really good by Paladins. He 3'd out. He just shoosed that Thana pretty hard. To answer your question about the secure, Sol Raijin have a pretty good burst with their ults. Raijin actually does more, not so much confirming it, but with his taunts to help dissuade the steal. With the Sol 2, it's almost like the Raw 1 ult. Same thing with her 2 ult. And as I say that, Ice Age is starting up the Gold Fury, understanding that Poseidon has Kraken. Baba does not have ult because he used it before he died. So Ice Age is going to confirm the Gold Fury, and it looks like Sol is going to burn her ult as well. And this is a clean disengage from Ice Age, which is what you like to see.
Very good. We were talking about how good the objective play was from Nightly Koalas, but it looks like Ice Age actually just got it together in that moment. Was just like, hey, we have Poseidon ult, we have them pushed out, start the Gold Fury, and now they're going to look for a fight as the tier 1 is under threat. Phoneinacup is going to drop the ultimate to try and zone these guys away so they can guarantee this tier 1, and they will, but not without taking a few scratches. ZaBaba stayed just a little too long, but no one's going to go on him, so he is going to be able to just walk away. And now they're going to look at Fire Giant Scorpion. I say look at it, it's kind of already gone. This Sol's using her lead immensely right now. She hasn't been in the left lane since we talked about how much of a lead she had.
And which is very impressive because she's still holding a 3-level lead, which I definitely would say is more impressive for her than a shot at Pega, because she's just doing a really good job of farming while she's using that pressure. So
she is going to make her return to the left lane though. So quick question. Oh, Dark Paladin actually was able to find ZaBaba-Yaga in the mid lane there. Pushing by Daniel also off the wave, off the mid, I should say. But yeah,
that's a really good point out from production there. Baba does not have his gauntlets fully stacked, while Ganesh does. So
and it looks like Alchemines found the solo kill in the mid lane as well.
I would like to point out that they did get a return T1 over in the right side of the map, and Jacob is keeping his lead pretty steady. Same thing with Chris though, and I would like to agree with your point from earlier. It's as Chris just solos Pega. You know, this is more important for Chris to have a lead than it is Jacob, because he's playing Chalk solo and he's going to fall off eventually, unfortunately, where Chris is just going to continue to skyrocket. So
3 members on the left side of the map right now as that tier 1 finally goes down. That one was only a matter of time, we could tell. As Ganesh walks through 3 members. Is he in trouble right now? He is going to get chained. Going to have to drop the ultimate to try and stay safe. ZaBaba-Yaga is going to split up away from his carry, but up into the air goes Silent Kill. Lands right down on the Dark Paladin. Aegis is used. Is it going to be enough, though? Chris is going to find the kill with the auto attacks. They're going to turn their attention over to Talonreese. Here comes PeGaSui, but being so underleveled, I don't know if he's going to have enough of an impact. But they are going to turn away from him only because of the rotation from the mid that is possible. And I think that's a good call. Take your kill and leave.
That was a bit of a misplay by Dark there. If he had just hard committed on the soul from the start, he started with his ult on the Ares and then switched to the soul. If he would have just stuck to the soul and then let her disapparate and continue his DPS, he probably could have traded him for the soul there, which would have been a big shutdown for him.
Yeah.
It's a big rotation on Jacob. I don't think he knows that there are... Ooh, that was a good Odin ult, too. I don't think he realized that there were 4 people here. They are going to burn 3 ults to kill him, but he should fall.
Oh, good teleport.
Thanatos does have ult. Oh, and he didn't have his blink back up in time, so Jacob is going to fall.
4 ults for the solo laner. Alright, looks like they're making their rotation over towards the Pyromancer. Dark Paladin is going to TP out knowing he's in some danger. Kind of hovering around the backside, but I think he got caught on a ward. Ganesh ult comes out. Is it going to be enough to steal, though? They're going to be able to pull it off, and at least Koalas is going to confirm. Now Alchemy's is here. Phoneinacup goes down. Ultimate comes out. Does do some damage, but doesn't hit the targets directly, so no knockup. ZaBaba is getting hit with the Whirlpool. Meanwhile, on the backside, it's Vidanielrisco that's trying to 1v1, but the 1v1 gets interrupted. No honor on this battlefield as Silent Kill picks up that kill. 2 members going to hide under the tier 2 tower on the right side. Pyro gets taken, but they lose the solo laner in trade.
I mean, I think that's the best person you could have lost in that fight, if I'm being honest. Phone's already down, and you're getting objectives for the team, and you take Paladins out of the fight, which just pushes the Thana even more ahead, who is 5-0-2. So, I mean, I think that's best case scenario for Koalas there.
I think very good target selection on the side of Ice Age to go for Phone right there. And I mean, good Ganesh attempt from the Ganesh to try and steal that Pyro away with the ultimate. Just maybe a little bit of lack of ward vision made it to where they couldn't see the health bar, so they just kind of had to guess at it. So I like the play from Talon, and Talon has looked really good so far in this game. I mean, even being 0-3 and even that tough start in the duo lane, he's definitely helped his team quite a bit in a lot of ways to get them the kills that they have.
I think the reason that Pyro went so well in the Koala's favor is because Dark walked on a ward that he didn't know was there. He, where that Thana is right now, they've had that ward since the beginning of the Pyro fight.
Soul is taking a lot of damage, and she is going to have to use the Aegis. She misses the Supernova, though, but it doesn't matter because PeGaSui walks right into the 1, and he's going to just fall in that fight. They're going to try and burn her down now as Set shows up, but the damage is just so much, and it's looking like it's going to be very difficult. Dark Paladin finally gets the shutdown, but it's a double stun from the ultimate from Silent Kill. Going to get pulled in by the Ares as well. Dark Paladin has no way out. He's just going to try to fight as much as he can, but it's not going to matter. Silent Kill is going to pick up a double kill by the end of that. And it's the 3-for-1 trade that I'm looking at here that's going to spell curtains for this Oni Fury.
That's a free Oni. He doesn't have Kraken. Oh, Jacob has a huge ult. Yeah, Jacob has a huge ult.
And he's still working at the fire
Koalas,
Fury, but Koalas
do secure it, yep.
And that's one thing about that play that just makes me a little uneasy is Jacob Frost just, I don't know if he maybe just miscalculated something or if he really just thought they were going to completely peel off of that and just let him take it. But slight misplay from the solo laner. As soon as that ult went down and you seen them drop it, you should have just dropped it too. He got a little, I think he just got a little excited about that.
Shout out to Baba in that fight, by the way, because if Silent didn't steal it, he would have had a double kill there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a huge spike because of the shutdown on, and they just got a shutdown on Thana too. That's huge, and you got it on the Poseidon, which is huge.
Yeah, that's a massive shift in gold and XP right there.
Yep. Yeah, they got about a 200 gold lead, about roughly, on the side of the Koalas out of just those 2 shutdowns alone. I
And
mean,
you got
that's
it on the mid
Soul.
laner.
Yeah, and well, so Dark got the shutdown on Chris, which I believe he was close to 9-0 when he died. I'm pretty sure he hasn't gotten a kill since he died, so I want to say that's pretty accurate. And then you got the shutdown on the Thana with the Poseidon, which is probably the 2 best people you could have gotten it on, because like
Mhm.
Pega's already far enough behind that shutdown doesn't really matter, and Set has a better late game.
Puts the ultimate from Ares after the Odin cage. Looks like he's going to try to find the kill onto Dark Paladin, but he didn't use the chains. I think he missed the chains earlier.
He's going to
Now,
limp away.
KhrisThaDemon, under threat, is going to use the beads for that Poseidon ult. Ganesh ult comes out as he's being chased by Silent Kill. Ultimate followed by Soul. The chain's going to land, and KhrisThaDemon's going to get the last hit. Here comes the ultimate from Thanatos, going to try to find a target to land on, and he picks Jacobfrostsoap, who's going to get taunted in, but just not enough damage or taunt from under the tower to pull him out. No CC follow-up means no kill for Nightly Koalas, but I don't think they're too worried about that as they start setting up for this FG at 21 minutes.
It looks like they're gonna pull Pyro. Pyro's spawning, and they do have timer. Jacob's here, but he doesn't have ult. Um, yeah, this is what I was about to say. I'd like to see Jacob ward and then just run, Let them know that you know that they're there, and this isn't free. And then don't let them know that you left. Pega's doing a nice job of trying to catch up. Still a 3-level deficit, but luckily for her, the Soul's level 20, so she can't get any farther ahead.
I was
So
gonna say, yeah. But here comes Jacobfrostsoap putting his carry pants on, doing his best impression of Benji as he chases down Silent Kill. Good ultimate from Odin, but unfortunately not gonna save his jungler. The fight goes on as it's a 2v3. Dark Paladin is looking at Vidanielrisco.
what an
Good
Aegis.
Aegis, though, is gonna stop that Poseidon ultimate from doing any damage and save his life, but now they're going to turn around and look at Phoneinacup, and it's going to be the end of it. Ganesh ult just not going to be enough to make a difference in that for that kill.
If Ice Age is gonna start winning these engagements, Paladins needs to stop focusing the Ares.
But it's a good ult from Chris that's going to, and the help of the Pyromancer that's going to bring him down as you were talking about him. Ultimate from ZaBaba-Yaga is going to pull in Ganesh. The beads are just a little late from Talon, so it's a wasted beads as well. The Ohm isn't going to save you, buddy. I think you're just going to have to call it good here and just going to have to die. Talonreese is 6th death of the game.
Yeah, it was just a bad beads timing by Talon, and they do pick up Pyro out of all of that. Very extended fight. I'd like to see the Koalas just back and kind of group for fire here.
I think the thing that's hurting the Koalas the most right now is the fact that every fight Vidanielrisco has been pushed out. If Vidanielrisco could just survive one fight without having to be in fear of something, these fights would be going a lot smoother. But there's just not enough peel on the side of Nightly Koalas for Vidan to just be able to survive these fights without taking a ton of damage from Set, especially whenever he uses the ultimate. You're slowed down. You're kind of basically standing still. Set's just going to sit on you and hit you with every auto attack he can until you're dead, which he hasn't been able to achieve yet, but it's only a matter of time.
He's been too focused on this Ares. Like I said earlier, which it looks like I'm not going to be able to finish that statement because they are pulling the Gold Fury.
Ganesh ult does come out, and Nightly Koalas are able to secure. Soul ult's going to be followed right behind the Odin ult to try and find some more damage. Dark Paladin is extremely low. He's going to get chased down by the Thanatos. Chris is actually really low herself and being chased down by that god, and Jacobfrostsoap is going to land the one to kill him. I'm sorry, I'm losing track. Chalk is going to get chained, though. by ZaBaba-Yaga, but there's 3 people on him, and I don't know if this is how you're going to win this fight or try to turn it. The tier 2 is under threat as 3 members do finally take down ZaBaba-Yaga. Silent Kill is going to hover around. They're going to turn their attention over to him. Phoneinacup can't get the jump off, and Jacobfrostsoap is going to get the kill. They're going to continue their chase, and not only get the chase, but get the kill on Vidanielrisco. And as soon as it all looked good for Nightly Koalas, Ice Age get a huge team fight on their side of the jungle and completely turn it around. And the only thing I have to ask you is, why were they going for that tier 2 there?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know. They got Dark so low so quick, and then Silent was like, okay, I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna execute him, and then everybody went to the T2 tower instead of helping Baba in the jungle. And if they just pull off that tower, they have a advantage. They have a man advantage, and they win that fight. And then this fire is theirs. It does look like Fire is going to take Talon, and Thana ult. He should not be able to kill Jacob here. Here comes Set.
Shouldn't be able to. Is Set's.
They should turn this around now. His ult's down, and they know it. Yeah, there's the Set ult. Yeah, that's a good kill from Dark. Yeah,
Great decision to re-engage there or not re-engage, but to engage there from Dark. Oh, just barely missed.
Oh my! He just got so lucky. If Soul stops his back there, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way he wins the 1v1 up against the Soul right now, especially with the build she's got. Look at that. Divine Ruin, Ratatoskr already online. Bancroft's Talon's finished. All you're looking to do is finish your starter item. Tier 1 and right, though, is going to go down. ZaBaba-Yaga and Soul, or I should say KhrisThaDemon, is going to get with their help, going to get that tier 1 tower. But Fire Giant is being warned by Ice Age, and they're doing the same mistake that we saw Nightly Koalas do last time. They're not grouping. They split up completely.
Take the tower. There we go.
You go.
I'd like to see them group now and typewriter the towers, and then wave manage and try to walk them left if they were smart here.
Huh. I'll have to remember that one. That was good.
Typewriter, yep. You just go left, or you go. Well, technically it's left, mid, right, right, mid, left, one of the two. But in this situation, I would just like to see them go mid, right, and then make them push the wave to the Phoenix in right, and then just walk them all the way to left. So,
yeah.
They could do a 4-1. They could do a 4-1 as well.
For it being such a high kill game, it has been a very quiet one.
Game.
Everything's happening so going very quickly. But these guys are playing. There's a lot of respect on the board right now. I mean, the Koalas have been respecting the jungle presence so far. Same for Ice Age, and the support presence has also been extremely respected this game.
Jacob's going in.
Jacobfrostsoap.
This is what lost them. Fire Giant is they separated the team. That's a huge Aegis, but he knocked him up. He didn't beat. He only Aegis.
PeGaSui only needed a minute to catch up, and look at that. He is now level 20 himself and almost caught up completely in builds. You only hit level 20 once, and you can't go past it. And it's starting to look like PeGaSui is just a little bit better, a little bit better carry in this situation.
There's something I say all the time when I get behind, and it's I don't care. As soon as they hit 20, I'll eventually catch up. As long as my team doesn't lose, it's all that matters.
Phantom does get used, and it's Vidanielrisco that's going to put damage onto the solo laner, and Silent Kill is going to come in and finish it off, and that's the go button for the Nightly Koalas. Alchemines tries to 1v1 Silent Kill, but the Thanatos just does so much damage, and the chase is still on. They're running down to this tier 2 tower. It's only 2 members with Fire Giant. Talonreese lost it early on whenever that Fire Giant went down, trying to find the damage. It's Silent Kill that was engaged under the tower, but now it's Phoneinacup who's tanking up this tower, taking so much damage from the enemy team, but it doesn't matter. They're targeting the tower, and they're using their objective play correctly here once again, making sure that tier 2 does go down. They're going to start going over to the left, and it's a team that's not wearing Fire Giant right now that's making the most of it.
They've had pressure ever since Ice Age took fire. They were zoning them off of their own jungle after they took fire. Ice Age needs to group and prioritize the Soul Raijin over the tanks. He is going to get caught out. I just want to point out that Chris just soloed Pyro and has full HP. just gonna throw that out there.
I'll tell you what's bugging me the most. He sold his starter item.
He did. I just wasn't going to talk about it, but he did. Hey, Jacob must have been watching the stream. That's all I'm going to say. Because if you look, he did the thing. He did the thing.
Yes, sir.
He got the wrong one. He got the wrong one, but he did the thing.
I think in this game, it's probably warranted with the Thanatos being the one that's diving your team the most and diving you, it looks like, as well.
He's trying to hard dive their backline. Every time I've seen him, he's either on Raijin or Soul. So I'd like to see him get the amulet still, just because he's probably going to be taking more magical damage than anything.
That's fair. We'll see if it works out for him. We'll see if that pays off, Cotton. As they start to hover around this right side of the map. Stop it. Sorry, everybody. As they start to hover around this right side of the map, Nightly Koala is already positioned for Fire Giant, while the rest of Ice Age start to group up and form their team together into the Ultron that is going to be this Fire Giant fight.
The big fight too. It's enhanced.
This looks like this could be the game-ending fight. I think this fight really kind of revolves around the game entirely right here, and both teams need to play extremely safe. Now, there's always two things that happens in these kinds of games whenever you start seeing these kinds of fights. One team is either going to get a huge wipe right here, and it's going to be the end of the game, or both teams are going to kill a lot of each other's, teammates, and just stalemate and have to go back to neutral. But here comes the ultimate, and it's Odin that's got Alchemines in a cage right now. Vidanielrisco is going to get the kill, but they're looking at the Fire Giant on the far side. ZaBaba is going to actually kill Jacobfrostsoap. Fire Giant did go down, but I can't tell who got it. It was Nightly Koalas that picked it up. Silent Kill is going to find PeGaSui, and they're going to take down this tier 2 and right. And that's a GG. This is game.
Yep, you run it down right, you end the game. Yeah, it's a lonely elephant with tusks and a trunk, and he's not got much for it.
And they're going to target him, and there's the kill. Phoneinacup going to find his second and probably last kill of the game as they start to work their way onto the Titan, and in a swift 2-0, Nightly Koalas have confirmed their position as second place team. Ice Age, looks like you guys got a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, that was just really solid team fights by Koalas. GG's. 2-0.
I think, unfortunately, and I mean, you know, this is a feels bad, but unfortunately, it just feels like not only did Ice Age, lose the set, but I think between game 1 and game 2, I think Ice Age just kind of lost the mental game.
I agree. I saw Paladins just trying so much to just focus on the person in front of him and not like dive the backline like he should have. There were several team fights where he was just hard focusing the Ares and not just DPSing the carry. And the reason that they lost that enhanced Fire Giant fight is for the exact opposite reason. The dive by the Koalas was just so strong that Pega couldn't do anything about it, and Alka was all by himself up there, and unfortunately got caged, and that lost them the fight.
Well, either way, looks like nothing left to do except break down what happened in that game and how it happened, how we got to this point. First thing I want to point out, that duo lane. There's no other way to put it. They just let Soul get a lead way too quickly. I think in game 1 they did a much better job of making Chris work for that power spike. But then game 2, like I said, mental diff looks like it just kind of kicked in there, and well, a game's a game, and you can't go back and change it because it's already over. You gave Soul the lead, and I mean, she hit level 13, or he. I'm not entirely sure if that's a man or a woman. PFP throws me off, everybody. But yeah, Soul got the lead. Level 13 hit. We were talking about how good she was farming and still maintaining a level lead up to the very end of the game. And, when you're ADC is level 13 and rotating around the map like that and actually finding pressure while rotating and maintaining a lead while rotating, it's kind of hard to stay into the game at that point.
It is. I would agree. I think that was just a snowball from the early pressure and duo. Ice Age just didn't do a good job of understanding that. I think what Chris was 6-0-2 like 10 minutes into the game, and
Mhm.
they just didn't really do anything about it.
And then to throw on top of it, that pressure just started to translate very slowly throughout the rest of the map. When Soul was able to get that lead, uh, Paladin tried to put pressure on the right side of the map. It worked for a little bit, but then Thanatos was getting his own pressure from that as well, translated into mid, and then eventually that translated into solo. We saw it in last game where um, Phoneinacup fell behind in the early, but still came back in the late and did his job to a T. He did it again in game 2 with the help of his jungler and his mid laner, making sure that the pressure he was under wasn't completely, toppling him. So very good play from Koalas all around. This is a very strong team, this Koalas team, honestly. They're sitting at 4-3 in the records right now. Confirmed that second place spot. And I mean, if I'm Olympians, which is the top team right now, 6-0 currently, uh, depending on how their game went today, I'm not sure because obviously standings haven't been updated. I'm worried about these guys because these guys are showing to be a really good team right now.
Yeah, I agree. They team fight really well, and that's something that you need in lower divisions. Is if you can play as a unit, it's very hard to stop you as a five. So
So, last question from me to you, Scopy. Uh, who would you consider to be your MVP for this game? Who's your most valuable player right now?
it's gotta probably either be silent or phone in the cup. I Chris did work both games for sure, and he
Mhm.
definitely was the big carry in the early game. But Silent has just been solid all set, and I would also agree that Phone did a really good job of not letting his lane snowball, and he did what he needed to do late. And you can't really ask much more than that. So I think I'd have to give it
Especially
to
out of a
Silent though.
jungler.
Yeah,
I agree.
I definitely think I'd have to give it out of Silent. He did really good target prioritization. Game one, he popped off on the AO, made them ban it, and then game two, he just did really well. He executed well. He stunned really well. Like a lot of Thanatos players don't understand that you don't need to use the execute when you play Thanatos, and he did a really good job with not just executing with his ult. He stunned, follow up. So I'd say it was Silent for sure.
And definitely something we talked about whenever we were going into this game as we were waiting for them to go into the lobbies. We mentioned about how this execution was going to be very crucial. And Silent Kill, again, like I said, I 100% agree with you. The MVP of this game, set up perfectly, executed properly, and the objective control once again from Koalas was just superior in this game. And that's really what kind of brought it to the point that it was at. Ice Age had their moments, though. I don't want to take anything away from them at all. They definitely played to their strengths when they could and pulled objectives properly when it was time. They did a really good Gold Fury pull at one point at the early start of the game. Just unfortunately, their team fight just needs a little bit of work. They can stretch that out, or if they can stretch that out a little bit, thin it up, or sweeten it up a little bit, get it cooking just right. They'll come back and probably be able to beat this Koalas team, or at least take them to a game 3.
I agree.
But with that being said, it looks like we need to close this one out. So that's going to be the last set for this channel for the day. Come back next weekend. We'll have some more for you starting at 2 o'clock here at Valhalla League. This is Freaky G. I've been sitting here with my wonderful co-caster,